Have you ever dreamed of owning your own charming little cozy cabin? So did we. I'm going to tell you about my journey into real estate investing. I promise I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. So this started at the end of 2021. I came across a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it literally changed everything for me. I read the book and I ran to Kristen and I was like, I have no assets. All I have are liabilities. So I was in a panic. I'm like, what are we gonna do? You have an asset, you own this condo, I don't have one asset. So I had a van that I converted. Some of you know about that. Maybe I'll post like a link to some of those videos there. But I built this van and it was a liability. It wasn't gonna be as valuable as it was that day. Like it was just gonna constantly be less and less valuable, right? So I was like, okay, I've got to get rid of it. It's costing me $600 a month to keep it parked on the street. And I was working remotely, but Kristen was not, however. So I couldn't just take it out as often as I planned to. It was a luxury, tiny home basically that we had built in this van. And I was like, I wanted to live out of it practically. But sadly, I had to sell it because it was a liability. So sold the van. We both decided, okay, we're gonna buy an investment property. So we decided to look into buying a small cabin. We're like, that would be so fun. We could go there. We could like hang out with the dogs, with the cat, and just whatever, have a space where we can go to, and then we can rent it out when we're not there. So the rentals will pay for the mortgage on the cabin. So great plan. We found a cute little cabin. I'll be inserting pictures somewhere. And we totally decorated the inside, really nice. The outside was totally trashed, and I'll insert another picture. We redid the outside and it looked great. So we're like, okay, cool. It's ready to put on Airbnb. Let's do this. Well, little by little, small things and then large things started happening. I mean, little did we know our house inspector was just complete trash. He just did not do a great job. And we ended up basically replacing every major thing, from plumbing, a new furnace, a $10,000 water softener, just you name it, it's probably been replaced. And also we added AC into the cabin. So this cost us a ton of money, and we're like, okay, at least we are not having to pay the mortgage on this property. But could you imagine, had we not had to fix any of that, we would have been keeping all of that money to go back into the account to invest into our next property like we had planned. But that's not how it worked out. Now everything's nice and new and updated, and during the whole time, mind you, this place was fully booked out. So we're trying to like fix things on the sly and still host guests because we had to make money. It was quite a challenge, but everything's good. The place has been fully booked out constantly. We started having a lot of like long renters. And so that intrigued us, and we wanted to get into more midterm rentals because there's less turnover costs. Like our cleaners, every time they come, it's like $130. It's just, it becomes expensive to keep turning the place over constantly. So midterm rentals the way we want to go. So our plan is, hopefully in the spring, once I'm licensed, I'll be licensed way before that, but in the spring, once we're ready, we are going to sell the cabin. It's going to be sad because it's our first property, but this is just the way it goes. And we are looking to either get a multi-unit building, and we would live in the top unit, and then rent out the middle unit as a long-term rental. And then the bottom unit would be a midterm rental. So a fully furnished Airbnb-ish type, but it would be midterm because Airbnb in Chicago is, you gotta jump through hoops. It's like very difficult. So we're doing a midterm rental. Or we would do a single family home with a detached garage, and then knowing that we're DIYers and we love building things. So I would then convert the detached garage into a luxury rental space, fully furnished. People visiting, just come see family, whatever, you name it. We'll rent the garage out, and then the main house we'll use as a long-term rental for a family, a couple, whoever, so that it's 2 rentals on 1 property. So those are our plans. Just kind of wanted to fill you in because you're probably going to see a lot of real estate stuff coming up on my channel, and some of you are probably like, what's going on? Yeah, so getting licensed very soon, and I kind of wanted to give you a backstory so that as you start watching this more and more, you'll kind of understand what's happening. All right, thanks for listening to my story.